Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, I am so excited that you're here today. I know you don't want to talk about it, but we must talk about it. It's important to talk about life insurance. It's the biggest investment that one can make in their lifetime. So let's talk about it. There are 4 funny banking rules of whole life insurance. So I will differentiate now between term and whole life, because what I find is that a lot of people, including myself, which I didn't know, had the wrong type of coverage. But if someone had explained the way it works to me, I would have never bought the whole life policy. But until I understood it and got the information, I was able to then realize why it was the wrong type. So term life insurance is pure income protection. If you lose your income, it's replaced. And it provide coverage for a fixed period of time, which financial experts recommend as the best option for most families, as I stated before. On the other hand, although whole life insurance provide coverage for a person's whole life, who knows how long that is, right? When you consider the four funny banking rules of whole life insurance that governs every whole life policy, the impact on a family's future is anything but a joke. Your family's future is not a joke, is it? So we need to understand and get the proper education of what it is that an insurance entails. You don't read the fine print. I didn't read it. I didn't know until I understood that I read the fine print, right? Premium for a whole life policy. The payout, the payment early only goes to the policy expenses, like I said, the example of my sister. For the first 2 to 3 years, the premium goes towards the expenses of the policy. And one of the biggest expenses of that policy is the commission to the agent that sold you that policy. So that cash value feature of the whole life insurance, that your money is supposed to be saved in, because that's what you was told, that part of your monies would go towards your savings for retirement. So that cash value feature of it is often sold to you as a way to prepare for the future. And a whole life policy have little to no cash, like I said, for the first 2 to 3 years. Sometimes 2 to 5 years before you start seeing your cash accumulating. So that's why I so believe in buying term insurance, term life, and then putting your money in a savings separate from your life insurance. So let's think about it. So let's say you go to the bank once a month with $200 to deposit into your savings account. 3 years later, you decide that you'll go to your bank and withdraw maybe about $100, $1,000, who knows how much you will need. And the bank teller looks at you and said, "What money? You have zero in your account." Your response, I'm sure, would not be great. And some people, I'm sure the police would be there to settle this matter, because you personally deposited your money on a monthly basis, and here it is. Now you need your money 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and they're telling you that that cash value is a zero balance. Zero balance? Oh no, I would, yes, not be happy. So think about a whole life policy that way, because that's how it works. If you don't believe me, read the fine prints. It's written there. It actually is a contract. Cash value only earns a nominal rate of return. Once the cash part of it, the savings part of it, start earning any type of money, it's a nominal rate of return. It could be somewhere from 3.8% in the US. In Canada, 1.05%. So think back about the rule of 72. Remember, Divide your interest rate into 72 and you will see how many years it takes for your monies to double. So now your money is supposed to, the interest is supposed to be in that cash value part of your policy. When you consider that over the last 30 years, the stock market on an average has been somewhere between a 9.96% interest rate and a 10.69. So you missed out on that because you had your savings in a whole life policy. Make sense? So now, see again, the reason why it's important to put your money in two separate baskets. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, that is a fact. If you borrow, now borrow. What is the meaning of borrow? Why would I have to borrow my own money from my savings? And then you have the privilege of paying it back with interest. They tell you, yes, you would have to pay it back with interest. So if you borrow your money you've been socking away all these years in your cash value, portion of the life insurance, and you take out a loan. They said, oh, you have to pay it back. Now, if you don't pay it back, now what happens if, let's say you have a policy for $250,000 and you borrowed a $10,000 because you've had it for over 10 years, you have that accumulation, let's say. Your face amount for the death value, the death benefit, will decrease by that $10,000. So now instead of $250,000, it'll be $240,000. And if you pay that back, then your face amount, the death benefit, will then go back to the $250,000. If you don't, it continued to accumulate that interest over the years and continue to be deducted from your face amount. Now, if you pass away, your loved one will not receive both. This is a whole life policy I'm talking about. Your loved one, your beneficiary, whoever you named to receive that check if you pass away prematurely, will receive whatever the death benefit is. So if there's an extended loan, they will subtract that amount plus those interests that it occurred. And then that savings part of it is the company. They get to keep your cash. Why would I save my money and allow a company to keep my cash? It's not worth it, guys. Your money is valuable to you and you should keep your cash. Your hard-earned cash is yours. So never put your life insurance and your savings together. Separate them. You separate your eggs, because what happens again, your loved one will not get both. So think about it this way. You bought a fancy pair of shoes. You can't wait to wear it to whatever occasion. However, the contract you signed for that pair of shoes said you can only wear the left or the right. You can never wear the left and right all at once. Yes. How would that look on your feet? That would not make sense. That's what a whole life policy is, in a nutshell. You'll get one or the other. You will never get both. And if you were to surrender the policy and take all your cash out, you would no longer have life insurance. But wait, you're paying for two life insurance and savings. Your money is supposed to be going into part of it into your savings, supposed to be building up for your future plans, your future dreams and goals, your retirement. But now you decide to take it out. But wait, did they not say it was for your whole life? And I won't go into details in another session, because this can be an entire day's educational feature of life insurance. There's so much to learn. So I will talk about the universal life. So never buy a whole life insurance policy. Never buy a universal life. Never buy a variable life or index life insurance policy. I'll go into details about each one of those on another show. but you'll have to tune in order to understand the concept of each one. There's a reason for this, guys. Education is the key. Education is the key to our financial freedom, because you can build wealth. You can make sure your families are properly protected. Not perfectly, but properly protected. You have to make sure that you use the information that I'm bringing to you to be able to put yourself in a better situation, because I care about you. I care about your loved one's future, and I want you to make the best of it. You can get one or the other in this whole life, like I stated before. It's either you get the death benefit or the cash value. You really don't get both. So if you pass away, or your loved one pass away who have a policy, the beneficiary only receives the death benefit. The cash stays with the company. Now, would you want that to happen? I know I wouldn't. Not for you. And I wouldn't want you to continue to be in a situation where you're not in control, because you are in control of making sure that your financials are in order. Your financials are where you're going to need money. Money is not all, but yes, it's like oxygen. Even if you're sick later on in the years, you still need money, because inflation, every year the cost of goods and services continue to rise. So if you don't protect your loved one and have the right savings, the right investments to make your money work for you, how are you going to then hedge against inflation? It will be almost difficult, impossible for you to hedge against inflation, meaning that you want to be ahead of it, not right where inflation is, about 3% on an annual basis. If you're not ahead of that, you need to understand the rule of 72. Again, making sure you divide your interest rate into 72 to see how many years it'll take for your monies to double. So if you're receiving a 3% interest on your whole life cash value policy, take that 3, divide it into 72, and that'll give you 24. So when that cash value does start to build up, depending on which, company or policy you have, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years before your cash value starts. Once it does start, think about it. Is it a 3% that you're getting? Divide that into 72, and that'll show you exactly how many years it'll take for your monies to double. 3 divided into 72 is 24. So it'll take you 24 years from whenever that maturity kicks in for your money, whatever amount is going into that cash value. It'll take you that 24 years for it to double. So let's say you're only getting $2,000. It will take 24 years for the 2,000 to become 4. So know that, understand it, and we will be able to make sure that you put your money in the right places, because it's very important to you and it's very important to me. So when we return from commercial break, we will recap again. So I'll see you in a minute.